Today I have something different planned to start. This is something I've been hanging on to about 10 years. This is a started shaker table. Someone that contacted me at least 10 years ago wanted to come to the shop and hang out and do this. Now he went to college for woodworking in Oswego, where I do live now, and he came to the shop and he was basically asking for some instruction. And I'm really no teacher, but I did the best I could. I gave him some wood. I showed him what I wanted him to do, and he did. And he basically started the shaker table, and he mortised and tenon the aprons in. He mortised the blade here in, and this blade was dovetailed in, which we'll get a closer look on a little later. So I recently ripped out a staircase in my shop to get some more room, and this was tucked in under a bunch of stuff. So I figured, you know what, this might be a good idea to pull this thing out and see if I can at least get it finished, maybe find it a home. So I was going over it, and I noticed some things from hanging around and some dents in the legs. I got into some paint from probably when I painted the shop on it, so it needs a good sand. And one thing I noticed that caught my eye, and I'll bring the camera a little closer so you can see, is this looked a little more narrower in the drawer box here than here. And I put a ruler, and it is. And I noticed that the blade, when it was dovetailed in, this one's in a little lower, I guess, trying to make up that gap, but it wasn't enough. So I have some wood. The problem is I'm not going to be able to really match this wood. I mean, this is some old wood to what I have. So we're going to have to come up with some pretty interesting concepts on how we're going to get this to match a little bit better. Maybe we'll use some stain or some dye or something, or maybe even just use the sun. But I do have a piece for the blade, and my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remove this blade. Now it is dovetailed in. I'm going to use this multi-tool, and I'm going to try to cut out the dovetail and try to remove this thing and clean up the sockets and make a new blade. Now I've never made something from the sockets, always made the tails first and then made the pins. So now I'm going to start with the pins making tails to try to remake this. And once we remake this, then it's on, and we'll get this table, we'll get it done. Hopefully we'll get the wood matched, and maybe we'll do something different with the drawer front. We'll see. But let me get you a little closer, and we'll show you what he did and how far we got. Okay, so this is the view from the top, and you can see the dovetail blade here. And this side is recessed more, and I think that might be recessed more in order to try to make up the gap or where we went wrong. So once we get this out, I can actually measure to see if this blade is actually the proper length down. Now it is matching the apron's depth, so I'm going to guess that it is, but we're going to make sure it's the same on both sides to try to get that square drawer box. We'll take a ruler to this side of the drawer box. You can see we're about 3.5, and we come over to this side, and we're probably like a 16th higher. It's not a lot, but I do see it with my eye. So we're going to try to remove this blade and get this project started. And if we're successful on this, then we will continue. If we won't, then we will just we'll burn this thing, and you'll never see this video. All right, so I clamped the table to my bench, and now we're going to attempt to cut. We're going to start on this side. Hopefully we can cut enough of this out on the line here, and then hopefully hit this with a mallet, and it'll pop out, and whatever's left over we'll clean out with a chisel. Let's keep our fingers crossed, and let's go. All right, so I'm basically cutting the glue out. I can feel that it's the glue. Now, if I remember correctly, this blade is a 1/2 inch thick, but I know that this dovetail is not a 1/2 inch thick, because I had him put a shoulder so we could mount this on there to mark it out. So we shouldn't have to go to full 1/2 inch. But let's continue. Okay, so with that being done, I'm moving this, and I can see this is actually moving. So I think we're gonna be able to pop this out without any issues. That's good. All right, so I'm gonna do the other side. I will come back once that's done to pop it out. Okay, so we multi-tool both dovetails. There is some wiggle on this one, sort of, but not really on this one. So we're gonna give it a couple whacks with this mallet and see if we can get any kind of movement. And look at that. Look at that. We left a little behind. That's okay. We'll clean up that socket. And it's moving. There we go. All right, so some of it's left behind. We'll get closer and take a look. All right, so most of it's out. We have some leftover stuff at the bottom. So we're gonna get a chisel in there. We're gonna clean all this up, get the sockets nice and clean again. And then we will make the new blade. But you know what? First, let's take a measurement down to this bottom blade here and see if we're good to the top. So here we are just under 4 inches. And here we were just under 4 inches. So this is at the right depth, both sides. So that's definitely the top was the issue. Top blade, not the bottom blade. So, all right, we'll get a chisel out and we'll get this cleaned up. My vise now, and we were going to try to pare out some of this older stuff. Look at that, right out. We're down to the glue already, which is good. So we're gonna try to follow along what he did in the past and just remake it. I do remember when he was doing this is so close here. It was very, very delicate as far as the leg was concerned. And I really don't want to go any deeper, but if we do, I'm not concerned. I will just fill in the extra with some veneers if I have to. Just clean up these side walls. Again, it's not super critical how pretty these are because you're never going to see this once the top's on. You just want to do the dovetail to help lock this table basically from splitting apart. I mean, you can put a mortise and tenon here, really no issues, but the dovetail is going to keep this from pulling apart this way. It'd be pretty cool if I could find this gentleman. His name is Lee. If I could find him when I'm done with this. I don't know if I can or not, but if I could, maybe I can get it to him. We'll see. It's funny, Lee, when he first came to me, he'd seen some of my work. I don't know where, but he's seen it and he liked it. And it was when I first started. So yeah, this is 10 years ago plus. The original YouTube channel, which was over 10 years ago, that channel scuttled and we started it over again. This is what you're seeing now. But yeah, different times, that's for sure. All right, guys, so I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop the video right here too. I'm gonna put the video out just the way I have it and where I'm at. Maybe we'll make a series out of it and maybe we'll call it finishing something that didn't start. And yeah, if we get good response to the first one, if you guys want it, see the rest of it, we'll maybe do it in parts and just leave a comment down below. If you feel something you don't want to watch, let me know and I will not upload any more videos on this build. And if we do it, we get it done, then we will try to see if we can locate him. I don't remember his last name. My brother might, so we'll take it from there. I know he wants to subscribe to the old channel, but don't know if he is the new one. So if we can find him, we'll get this back to him. All right, guys, and wrap it up. If you want to see more of this series, let me know down below. If you haven't been here before, please subscribe, and you will see the rest of it if we do put it out. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.